Hello everyone and welcome to my first tutorial video. Today we are going to be drawing Anxiety from Inside Out 2. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm really excited to see it. We begin with 2 circles for the eyes. These eyes should be near the top center of your paper. Don't draw them too big as we will be drawing most of the body in this tutorial. If you want to make them bigger and just do only the face of Anxiety, that will be fine too. The eyes resemble a lot of old cartoon styles with the eyes together touching one another. I spend a few seconds perfectly rounding out the circles and making sure that they're the same size. The next thing we will be moving on to is the mouth. Anxiety has a very Squidward-esque mouth, where it's mainly just lips, no chin, no cheeks, just lips. We are going to start at the bottom of that left eyeball and make a C or a hook shape with really long exaggerated ends. Then you'll go on to the right eye and make another hook shape. Do not connect these 2 lines as we are now going to funnel both the lines down into a thin neck shape. Now we are going to make sort of a box shape with rounded edges. This is going to become the color of his shirt. Make sure it's much thicker than the neck and much poofier. Next we are moving on to the eyebrows. Above each eye, you are going to make a rounded triangle shape. These eyebrows are floating in the air and do not touch the eyes at all. Make sure your corners are very round and that your triangle is at an angle pointing upwards. Now, go back to the lips that we started earlier. We are going to want to outline the inside of this lip area to make the actual mouth. Now, if you look closely, the further outside of the mouth, the further apart the lines are away from each other, while the middle of the mouth, the lines are closer together. It's just a little detail I thought I'd add. Now for the teeth. Anxiety's teeth are half circles. Space out these teeth slightly, but not too far away. The easiest way to do this is to start with the 2 front teeth, and then add slightly smaller teeth in the back. For me, I am doing 3 small teeth on the left side, and 2 small teeth on the right side. This is a total of 7 teeth, which is an odd number of teeth to have. Most of the time it's an even number, but in my reference he has 7 teeth, so that's how I'll be drawing him. Next is the eyes. The simplest way to do this is to draw a slightly smaller circle within the 2 large circles that we already made. If you want to try to challenge yourself, you just need to squash these circles ever so slightly on the bottom, and also thin out your lines as you get closer to the other eyeball. What this does is create a sort of eye bag look, but this also acts as an eyelid and helps convey emotions more. Just to give you a little information on eye anatomy, you have the pupil, the black part of the eye, the sclera, the white part, and the iris is the colored part. We just separated the eyelid from the sclera, and now we will be moving on to the iris and pupil. In our drawing, Anxiety is going to be looking to the right. We will draw a very small circle on the right side of our iris. After we have done this to both eyes, we are going to draw 2 small circles within this circle. 1 small circle will be the glare, the light that's reflecting in the eye. That's going to be off to the side. Then in the center of this circle, we are going to draw another circle, and this will be our pupil. To recap, we should now have an iris, a pupil, and a glare inside of the eye. Starting from the collar of the shirt that we drew earlier, make a little hump, then make a slightly curved line going down. Make a line right next to it that's parallel and slightly shorter. Then curve that line back up to make a V shape. Curve it around and then point it back down towards the elbow. Now you should have a somewhat triangle looking shape. Now starting on the left side of the collar, make a slight bulge but not quite as big as the one that we just made on the other side for the shoulder. Now come down to the elbow and we are going to draw a line away from the body that slowly goes down. Then on the other side, we are going to draw another line, and then a third line in the middle splitting the 2 apart. This will be his legs. Now Anxiety's shirt has 4 stripes on it. one on his wrist, one in his elbow, one across his chest, and then one on his collar. Try to draw these lines slightly curved if you can, otherwise they're just simple straight lines across the body. Not all the stripes are the same size or equal distance apart from each other, so keep that in mind. Now we move on to the hand. Draw 2 very short lines coming out of his shirt. Next, we are going to be adding 5 ovals. This first oval is slightly smaller and angled a little bit more horizontally. The rest of the ovals will be pointed up and overlapping one another. Not all these ovals are the same size. They slowly grow smaller as they get more towards the left. That's because on the left side there's the pinky and on the right side is the thumb, making those the 2 smallest fingers, while all the other ovals will be slightly larger than these 2. Now it's time to outline our picture. Use a black marker, Sharpie, or just a regular marker if you want. And I'd recommend using a thinner point marker to make it easier to draw these lines. But using a thicker marker will work just fine because this piece is simple and so none of the details should be drowned out by a thick marker. And we're just going to go through and trace all the lines that we just drew on our paper. Try to draw in one fluid motion because this will make your lines nice and crisp and sharp with no wavering inside of them. Take your time on areas where the lines are close together, that way the lines don't accidentally bump into one another. Try not to keep your marker in one place for too long, or the marker might bleed and make it messy. Feel free to pause the video so that you can take your time drawing these lines. We will color in the mouth and the pupils pure black. And you may have noticed we have not gone on to Anxiety's hair yet. We will save that for the very end. After you finish coloring everything in, erase all the old pencil lines. Now it's time to move on to color, and you can either use colored pencils or markers. I'll be using markers in this example. Markers are typically better when doing a cartoon character. I'll start off with orange for his skin. And if you have the opportunity to choose between a darker or lighter orange, choose the lighter orange and save that darker marker for when we do our shading. Now is finally the time for us to do the hair. We are going to take our orange marker and we are going to start from between his eyes and draw straight up. We're going to start drawing straight up and then we're going to slowly branch out those lines. Don't press too hard, and as you come to the tips of the hair, slowly lift your marker off the paper. And keep doing this repeatedly. Start at the base of the eyes every single time. This will give the illusion that the base is thicker. Now color in every other stripe red on his shirt, his eyebrows and pants brown, and then his eyes green. Now for the last bit of the hair, take your black marker. Now draw a few random lines within the hair, following the same curvature of the hairline. Now technically we are done drawing him, but now I will do the extra step of shading him. Try to find a darker version of all the colors. Find a gray, a dark red, a dark orange, and a darker brown, or you can use black instead of a dark brown. I'm going to start with the pants. Now take your dark brown or black and draw under that elbow, just a little bit. And we're also going to draw the crease between the 2 pants legs. Next, grab your gray marker, and we are going to color in his shirt. Now only color in the white parts of his shirt, not the red parts. We'll use a dark red for the red areas. And for that extra little detail, don't forget to color in right behind his collar gray. Now take your dark red marker and color in the red areas. Make sure the red shaded areas and the gray shaded areas are lined up. Now take a dark orange or a light brown color, and we're going to draw shading right under his neck and between his fingers. I also throw in some dark orange in his hair to give it more depth. You can also shade in his eye bags like I do, and shade his eyes like I do, but those are not really a requirement to make a perfect piece. I also forgot to shade in the eyebrows, but after that, our picture is done. This has been a tutorial on how to draw Anxiety from InsideOut 2. Thanks for following along with me.